how did this happen? Well, let's do a quick review of the charts here. So this is QQQ. We had on Friday last week, it was looking pretty bearish. And on my weekend video, I said, I just don't believe these bears. They don't seem to be able to break down no matter what happens. And my general take was that as long as we're sort of trading in this range up here and not breaking this daily EMA 12 with gusto, then bulls are in control. And that being said, did I do really well on this rally? No, I didn't. And I wanted to talk about why. So what happened? How did this go from basically on the precipice of rolling over to back to pushing all-time highs in 24 hours, basically? Because it was in Monday, midday that it really started to rally, and then as of this morning, pushing highs. So jump back out to a smaller time frame here. Okay, so this is the Friday lows. This is where I was saying these bears aren't really proving anything to me. We're just like at the lows wobbling here, not breaking lower. And then first thing Monday morning, here's the lows from Friday. First thing Monday morning, we test the lows, break them, and rally. And then right around, what time was it? This move here. This rollover here is when it really started to cascade, which began at about 8:15 in the morning. We set this, what could be a 15-minute higher low, and then we're unable to break the tops and started to roll over a little bit. Then we had news of war overseas. I'm not going to get into any more detail than that because it's kind of irrelevant, and you don't need to know much more than that there was some war event happening overseas. And then we crash down through, we break the low of Monday right here. And what sucked for me is as it was coming down there again, it was coming so hard and so fast that I thought, on the 1 minute time frame, this is a really good opportunity to try a stair step break. So watching for a stair step break and taking it, and you can see here that this one didn't work here, and we were getting closer and closer and closer to the low of day. And right here, I took an attempt. I gave myself one try, and it was right on this candle where it got really close to the low that I gave it a shot. And I did not get 1-to-1 because it did, like the thing that I look at on this move is the 1 minute EMA 12. So as soon as the stair step broke on the 1 minute right there, I got long, and it immediately started coming down. And so I didn't, and my thought was I was going to risk to this, or if it rallied right up, like sell some at 1 minute EMA 12 and see what else I can do. But it was such a hard flush. I wasn't able to get out. I took a stop on it. So I lost a little bit on the day, not a lot. And then it broke the low of day and rallied. And so I was unable to really capitalize on that. I could have, I was basically catching the bottom, but obviously I had no idea that the rally was going to do what it ultimately did. And you can see here, it did set, this is a 5 minute higher low. There it is. So this was the next opportunity you had to get long. And I didn't trade that. I didn't try it. I was not, my brain did not grasp, how good an opportunity this was or what was about to come. And so I missed that. I didn't get in on this. You could have been risk-free and had a decent stop below here somewhere, and you could have held overnight, but obviously nobody had any idea of what was going to happen right here, which is when a certain someone announced that there was a ceasefire and the war overseas is essentially over. So as soon as that happened, then, the reversal that happened here, combined with this news event here, is what propelled the market up further. And wake up this morning to a gap up, and I'm keenly aware that my best opportunity for a trade is an hourly higher low. But as you can see, even here on QQQ, it, other than the pre-market dip here, it didn't give you an hourly higher low on the morning. There was no retracement at all, and I didn't get long right off the open. There was, NVIDIA I was also watching. NVIDIA also just took off right off the open. This was the only hourly higher low you got other than the one in the afternoon yesterday. I was looking at a few names. AVGO did the same thing where it gapped on the news and then had, was this other news? It gapped much further. The one that I did attempt today was Tesla. I was looking for, Tesla had that nice strong move yesterday, and my expectation was that it would hold an hourly higher low in this area somewhere. And I started buying the dip this morning, and it did not work, and I got stopped out, and I took a little loss there, and continued to show weakness. So what does all this mean for moving forward? Well, I think if you look at here on QQQ, we're pushing all-time highs now, both in adjusted and unadjusted for dividend charts. Bulls are still in complete control. At this point, if you missed this entire move like I did, and you're struggling with, what should I do? Obviously, the next move is, plenty of names have lots of room for hourly, 4-hour, and daily higher lows. Stocks don't move up in a straight line, and so that's my next plan, is look for the next solid hourly higher low or 4-hour higher low or even daily higher low on the names that are trending and strong. And so which names are trending and strong? Let's do a quick look at the Mag 7. So here's Apple. Apple is basically sideways. It couldn't even hold the move up overnight. It dumped in the morning and then set a lower high and went lower on the hourly time frame. Google went completely sideways today after the gap up, which isn't the worst, but it's in a daily downtrend. Amazon is also in a daily downtrend, not quite as ugly as Google, but definitely a higher low is in order here as well. Tesla, I still think if you go from, where are you drawing your retracement from, right? So I'm going to draw it from this low here to that high there, and we're really at a 50% retracement. So we had like a low, a high, higher low, higher high. There's a bunch in between, but that's sort of the meat of this move. I feel like goes from there to there. And so I'm like 50% retrace isn't the worst thing in the world, gapping down a bit overnight, but I still expect a higher low at some point. And at this point, hourly, I'm not as confident in, but maybe we get a daily higher low in here somewhere now. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, is maybe a potential daily higher low. I'll be watching the price action. I want to see bulls show up in order for me to believe that there's a move happening here. Microsoft has been a steady grind up this entire last, since May, basically. It's been slow, steady grind up to all-time highs. I have a really hard time getting into names like this because it's a lot of sideways, 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 slight move up, sideways, 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 move up, sideways. We're probably in for more sideways at this point. So I just have a hard time with it. This is one of those ones where you like on a little dip you buy and you close your eyes and then you never look at it again and hope it went up later. Meta, incredible move off this double bottom. I'm really, really sad that I missed this move because basically the low of last Friday, it double bottomed at that on Monday and has been up ever since here on the hourly time frame. There's been a higher low here, rinky dink one there, rinky dink one here, higher low there. And so, I still feel like this thing needs to retrace a bit, but it's pushing the highs of this whole range. So I don't know that it's going to be in a rush to do so. And it's getting pretty close here to, I think that's the all-time highs. Yeah. So I still think higher lows, like at this point, maybe a 4-hour higher low before I continue to push up, but I'm not in a rush to chase this up here. NVIDIA is doing really well. And so this is another one where like, it's actually pretty steady. Like you had sort of a double bottom here, a higher low there, higher low here, and not really like it's sort of a stair step ever since now. And so I think a dip tomorrow would be worth an attempt as long as it holds the low of prior day, which I'm not sure where that is. It's down way down here at 145.53 or 145.50 something. Let's see what it is. 145.50 exactly. So as long as it holds that tomorrow, I'd be interested. So I think tonight I'm going to go through a bunch more names and take a look at the ones that I think are trending the strongest, which ones have the best setups in the morning, and be looking for some kind of higher low. Ideally, we get a dip off the open and then a push to new highs. That's what I'm hoping for. This move is, surprising. Yes. Did I think we were going to completely erase all of this price action over the last couple of weeks in 2 days? No, I didn't. But that's how the market moves, and that's what happens. And this is exactly what happens when bulls maintain control. I think the fake out to the downside and then a push up is classic. I can't believe I didn't see it because it's called a look below and fail. You look below there, you fail just from a technical perspective without any news at all. Tried to go lower, couldn't do it. Where are we going to go? Explore the highs again. And since we pushed through the highs now, it makes a lot of sense to either continue up and get a higher low or just get a higher low from here and continue up. So that's what I'm looking to get on these charts. And that's where my focus is going to be tomorrow. Have a great week. Hey everybody, if you like my indicators on TradingView and you like the content I'm producing here on this channel, please remember to like and subscribe.